Welcome to the Dowden Podcast. I'm your host, the official CRG, and today I want to talk about the NFL and their streaming platform prices for their customers, plus the new rules for this upcoming season. But before we get started, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. That way you don't miss any weekly episodes and posts. You can find video of this episode strictly on YouTube, but the audio everywhere else. But with that said, the NFL or National Football League is home to hundreds of players and millions of fans across the world, only getting bigger as time goes on. But recently, fans have been struggling to keep up with their favorite teams and the games because NFL has something called out-of-market games. And out-of-market games are basically games that are outside of that customer's region. So, for example, I live in Florida and my favorite team's the Ravens. So a lot of the times I can't watch the Ravens away games because that broadcast channel is not in my region. So if fans want to keep up with their favorite teams, they're going to have to put up around $800 for the entire season for around 5 to 6 different streaming apps just so they're able to watch it. And in this economy, that is a big, big load of money because nowadays everybody is check to check. Everybody's struggling. And to have to put up $800 just to watch football is crazy. And it's not like these crazy prices haven't been brought up to the NFL because they have. Even having ESPN offer their Sunday ticket to drastically change their prices from $349 to just $70 for the whole season, having the NFL just simply decline. But when it comes to the new rule set for the 2024 to 2025 season, these aren't any small changes. These are drastic, having it involve new kickoffs, onside kicks, and tackling, sparking a lot of conversation and speculation to how this year is going to play out. But according to the NFL, they're saying that these new rules are going to make the game more strategic and safer, but also keep it competitive and exciting. So on kickoffs now, instead of having players on the kicking team line up with the kicker on the 35-yard line, 10 players on the kicking team must line up along the receiving team's 40-yard line. Now, the area between the receiving team's 35 and 30-yard line, 9 receiving team players must start, while one receiving player waits in the landing zone, which is between the 20-yard line and the goal line. Plus, the play only begins now when the ball either hits the landing zone or is touched by a receiving team, and it must be returned. No fair catches are allowed. Also, when it comes to onside kicks, they'll also be changing, having the NFL decide to take away that surprise factor, having them now have the teams announce when they do onside kicks, having them only kick them in the fourth quarter, and the team has to be losing in order to do an onside kick. But lastly, when it comes to tackling in the NFL, that's also going to be changed, having the hip drop tackle result in a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down if the player uses the technique to bring the runner to the ground. And the reason they're stopping this tackling technique is because when it's done, it can injure not only the receiver, but the tackler, and it can affect the knees and the ankles of the player, having season-ending injuries. So at the end of the day, these are drastic changes for the NFL, but we really just have to see how they play out to see if the fans and the players like it and see if it fixes the injury rate. But with that said, today's quote is by Houston Texans running back Aaron Foster. He once said, "Patience is a virtue. Keep doing what you want to do, and eventually things will happen." I appreciate you tuning in. You can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And this is the Dowden Podcast.